What is up, guys? We got a late night happy hour tonight previewing the Utah Jazz, who are red hot in the Los Angeles Clippers. But this is a bit of a spotty game because we got a couple injuries on both sides. No Kawhi, no PG for the Clippers, no Mike Conley for the Utah Jazz, but still should be a good one. Donovan Holden here with Jake, Micah, Ty B, and Meerkat. We got a few of Trainwreck's finest here on Happy Hour Hoops. A little happy hour at happy hour, late night edition. Guys, we got some good basketball games tonight.
Oh, absolutely some great basketball. I'm upset, when I stay up late to watch my Clippers, I want to see everyone out there balling, especially in a big matchup like this one. And, I'm sick and I want to stay up and I want to watch the whole thing. I don't want to fall asleep during it, but like that'll probably happen now that Kawhi and them aren't in it. But, I'm excited because it's a great opportunity for them this year. They've been playing good basketball and there's a ton more games to watch this year and a ton more excitement. So can't complain too much.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. I got a nice early Nuggets game tonight. I'll be able to actually watch the end of it and not have it be 1 a.m. And then we got the dart on one of the late games too, an over. So that just makes it even more exciting. Who doesn't want to see an over on a late game?
I hopped on board on that bet. I took that over.
I love
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yeah,
I thought that was easy money, honestly. So we'll see.
And the dart's
that's
hot.
a fun one. The dart is hot. The dart has been hot lately. This is a good fun game for an over, no matter who's playing in this game, though. Like both these teams, especially with those dudes out for the Clippers, they're just gonna fucking fire away. Like these teams love to shoot threes, and they're fucking good at shooting threes too. They're just efficient offensively in general. Clippers are first offensive rating. They're third in points per game. The Jazz fourth in both of those categories. The Jazz defense has been locked down though this year. So the Clippers going into this game with a couple guys out, obviously, in Kawhi and Paul George. Dunny, what do you think? Do you think they're going to be able to get enough buckets to get by the Jazz? Is there going to be enough way to generate offense through these guys? Is this a big Lou Will like 30-point game? We haven't had it really this year, like really popping off.
Yeah, I hope it's a big Lou Will game for a couple reasons. One of my favorite scorers in the league. Two, I picked him up off waivers in fantasy basketball this week. So we keep those fingers crossed. But no, I mean, I think the offense will be there for guys outside of PG and Kawhi. I mean, the Clippers have a talented group. We saw a few nights ago, Pat Bev went off from the 3-point line, which is obviously a rarity.
Yeah,
and then, veterans, savvy vets, Serge Ibaka, Nick Batum, they have guys, young guys like Terrence Mann. That they have guys who can get it done. Is it going to be enough to beat the Jazz? We're going to have to wait for the tip to find that out because it's definitely going to be a tough task. But the
Ty B, how have you been feeling so far about me and Johnny were talking about this earlier. Are you a Vika Zubac guy? Are you a big Zubac fan here? Do you think that they could do something better? Because I feel like that's a spot, like there's always talk about guards for them, but that's a spot they could tend to like upgrade going forward, especially like this.
Yeah, you could definitely upgrade because I mean it's not just like you want to have a good successful regular season. You're going to have a good successful regular season with your big pieces. It's all about trying to win in the postseason. So you got to look at what you have to match up against, and you're going to have to get over the Lakers to get into the NBA Finals. And in doing so, you're going to have to be able to get someone who can lock up Anthony Davis. Is Zubac that guy? Probably not. It would be very helpful if you went out and gotten another elite defending big man, maybe someone who can come off. It doesn't necessarily need to be someone who's going to play 30 35 minutes a night, but someone who can come in, play 20 to 25, take a lot off of Zubac's back so they can share that load, stay more fresh on him throughout a game. I think that's got to be what you're looking at. There's going to be some big men out there. Blake Griffin's out there. I doubt he comes back.
Come on, we need it.
I would love it. Like I was so upset when they traded him, like Clipper for life, and then they traded him. I don't know. Drummond's going to be out there. There's going to be names, but yeah, like they put like his jersey up there when they signed his contract, like all that stuff. But I don't know. There's names out there, so we'll see if they make a splash. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did, especially because some of these guys will probably be bought out.
Yeah, I think that's the like this team feels complete to me. I was saying earlier, like this team still feels like the complete team it did last year. Like it still just needs like a little help around the edges, but they don't feel any different to me than they did last year. Like they still should be a favorite no matter what and should be able to like get by these teams. And realistically, like they were up 3-1 and it just all fell apart. Like everybody, it's always revisionist history, but they were right there on top of it anyway. So this group it looks like I don't know, it feels different and looks different to me for them. And I think just getting around the edges, like something like that would be really beneficial for them. But
No, for sure. I mean, I think that's a great thing, but I know Degenerate Al's got a comment. We gotta respond to Al on this one. He saw Dunny rocking the Lakers jersey with all the Celtics stuff in the background. The people gotta know.
I explained it on Instagram. I'll give another little explanation. I talk about all things NBA. Yeah, I got the Celtics room. I bleed green. If I get a cut, green comes out. But I got a lot of jerseys. One, I'm an NBA fan. Two, and I try to keep the bias aside a little bit. And so when I'm talking hoops and I'm talking different teams, I like to mix it up a little bit. I don't want to. I'm always going to have the Celtics behind me. That's just the way it is. But yeah, I got to mix it up. And it was a Lakers Kareem jersey too. It's not like I'm repping a LBJ jersey or anything like that.
I like the LeBron one better.
Yeah, you gotta stay true to the legends. Kareem, I feel like a Kareem jersey can go in any situation. But yeah, you'll see me rocking some Bulls, even some Sixers. It will never be an Embiid. Same deal. It's Allen Iverson. But yeah, got to mix it up.
That's fair. Meerkat, so I want to ask you about the Jazz here because you got to see them firsthand in that series against your Nuggets last year, and it's the same thing that I was just talking about with the Clippers. Like the Jazz were a halfway Mike Conley shot from being talked about a lot different than they were going into the offseason last year. Like it was a lot of doom and gloom about the Jazz. Like I think even for us, like we had them like 7th or 8th somewhere around, or at least me, I had them like 6th, 7th, 8th around there, thinking that that's where they'd be in the West, and they have clearly proven me wrong on that. But this team, like, do you think that they have what it takes on that roster right now to make that next step and challenge the Lakers and the Clippers and really like take a run at winning the West this year?
Like the Jazz are a weird team to me. I don't want to label them like a Bucks where they're frauds. It's because they're an incredible regular season team and they're a good playoff team, but I don't think this is a championship roster. Like I think they're just missing something. Like Rudy Gobert, awesome defensive guy and stuff, but he's a little old school, like it just doesn't work as well in today's NBA when you're going against a guy like an Anthony Davis. I understand that his defensive skills are incredibly valuable. And then Donovan Mitchell, he's kind of like the whole catalyst for this team. He started out this season not cold, but not really what you expected. He wasn't efficient at all. Only had 3 30-point games in the first 20 games of the season. Now he's got 3 in this month of February so far. He's heating it up. I think if Donovan Mitchell can truly take, a step, then this team is there. They have the guard depth. You see what Jordan Clarkson's doing. If Mike Conley's healthy, Joe Ingles is Joe Ingles. They might be like another depth big man away, like a real impact big man off the bench, a 7th guy at the 4 or something. But it's just one of those teams. I feel like I don't see them really transcending what they are right now.
See, I'm completely with you on that. I think it's just like Mitchell. If Mitchell all of a sudden turns into like top 10, top 5 guy, when it's like playoff guy, like he can reach that on nights in the regular season where you're like, damn, like this dude could really be like a high level guy. But if he's doing that consistently in the playoffs, then it's like, okay, this team might be able to do shit. But the rest of the guys around there, like they're solid, like you said, but like, are they really like championship? Like championship's a different level that we're talking about here when it comes to these teams.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into what the people really want to know about. It is -6.5 right now for the Jazz as favorite, and they're in LA too, with no Kawhi, with PG. So Ty B, what would you lean towards with this game? Do you think your Clippers can pull out a cover regardless?
I mean, I could see them keeping it close because, I mean, yes, the Jazz, their offensive efficiency's been better this year, unless, one of these guys really takes over. Or someone gets hot, shooting from 3. I don't see them pulling away and really running away with this. I think the Clippers can still hang in there. They have a ton of depth, like you've brought up. And I would love Sweet Lou to really have one of those trademark games. You know what he can do. You see the ball handling and the shooting is still there. He can get to the rack like it's nobody's business. He's got one of the best, quick little stutters towards that rim. And he gets up there like he has like this weird sneaky jump where he looks like he's about to go up with a big man and just like gets them to jump earlier or like later than him, no matter what. So he just gets enough room to get that layup off. I think the Clippers will keep it close. 6, I think, is a pretty good number with everyone being out, the way it is, and the amount of games the Jazz have had to play lately, especially tough ones.
Yeah.
And they were just on the East Coast, correct?
Yeah.
And having to go all the way back, it's a big adjustment.
That's why I love it. If it was 6, if it was like, I mean, it wouldn't be 6.5 at home, but if it was the number at home in Utah in like the more elevation with the Clippers doing that, I would be like, fuck no, I'm staying away from the Clippers. But like you said, like it just kind of feels like they're gonna hang around no matter what in this game. Maybe it gets blown out like late, and that's where you get fucked over, late free throws and things like that. But I don't know. I could see it. What are you thinking, Meerkat? How are you feeling about the spread? How are you feeling about that over that the Dart got earlier there?
I like the over in that Golden State game for sure. In this Jazz Clippers game, though, it's a weird one. I'm not going to touch the over under just because I don't even know what the Clippers are going to look like tonight. Because Batum, I just saw Batum's out as well. That's their three players with their top minutes guys on the team, top 3 right there. I have no idea what the Clippers are putting on the floor tonight. It is, Patrick Beverly ready to guard Donovan Mitchell when he's on the court, then Jordan Clarkson off the bench. Like, he's going to be playing extended minutes tonight. They're going to be super weak at the wing. I just have to take the Jazz tonight. Gobert can, I think Gobert can handle Ibaka and Marcus Morris more than, okay in the paint tonight. One guy to watch out for the Clippers, though, I want to see him get some, like, real minutes tonight. He might get a start, and if he gets hot, he's probably going to be the reason they can win. And that's Luke Kennard. I mean,
let's go.
He's only shooting 3.5 threes a game this year, but he's shooting 44% from 3. He didn't look bad last year. Get him the volume tonight. Get him 10 shots from 3 tonight. Maybe the Clippers have a chance, but I don't think their bench with their top 3 guys being out, their starting lineups, they're already at a disadvantage. I don't think the bench is going to be able to keep up as well with the Jazz's bench because you got Jordan Clarkson.
Exactly, and that's why I feel like the line should be kind of bigger. I think Vegas is telling me something on that.
I think it's because a lot of these guys were questionable until like the past hour or so as well.
Well, I don't know about that because I know PG and like Batum has a concussion, so like
PG and Batum were the only clear outs. Kawhi and Conley,
and then Kawhi was questionable. Yeah.
Kawhi and Conley both.
Yeah, I was surprised with the line
if there's any movement.
I know the game's in LA, but I mean, you think about how good the Jazz have been, and then Kawhi and PG both banged up. I mean, obviously other injuries.
6.5 now.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like closer to 10 if I'm being honest.
Now, so yeah, started out as 2, so it was a 5-point swing from whenever it opened up today. So listen, whatever. We'll see what happens. I think I'm more along the lines. It's going to be close regardless. I can't believe Nick Batum is 3rd on the Clippers in minutes. That's fucking absurd to me.
And like after everything, like him leaving Charlotte the way he did, and like everyone making fun of him, like, that's the worst contract ever, this and that, and like he's been doing pretty well. Like, I don't know, when you get a different role and you're not expected to like be that guy with a big contract, I think it's a lot easier for a lot of those guys like who are good to great players but aren't stars. Like there's just that expectation isn't fully there. Like that's why Paul George is better when he has a guy like Kawhi. Like yeah.
That's a question I wanted to bring up just for anybody to take over. Is if we were to put Paul George and switch them with Donovan Mitchell on these rosters, like I feel like the Clippers would be a fucking tank and Utah would be like how I actually pictured Utah would be. I think that's like the level I have Mitchell at, which is why the Jazz might be like in higher regard for me. because they're both super talented. But
I agree with you. I think his skill set would be like exactly what the Clippers want, like a guy who can score, can play defense, can create on his own, but can also catch and shoot if he needs to. He just has like a ferocious attitude too. That's something that Paul George has been. It's been quite flippant at times, especially playoff P. Yeah, yeah. He just kind of loses it every once in a while, and like you don't lose that from Donovan Mitchell. He's shown up in big games, and he doesn't disappear and shrink away from that pressure. And he did it at Louisville. He's doing it, at Utah. I would much rather have him. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like we haven't seen Paul George be that type of player since his days in Indiana either. And obviously the fucking gruesome ankle injury that he suffered, you don't want to put that against him. But he really was. He almost had a Donovan Mitchell type of vibe before Mitchell was even in the league. When he was in Indiana, he kind of was that fearless guy. He was a dog. He played like the leader. He really didn't need anyone else. I mean, he was carrying teams with David West and Roy Hibbert, or did I say his name right? Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, and
no Hibbert slander here.
You just see that kind of. It just kind of went away with PG a little bit, and he's a great number two.
Yeah.
I mean, he's thriving next to Kawhi right now, but
I don't know if he's just like worried about his ankle or like worried about breaking his leg again, or just kind of I don't know. It just changed the mindset a little bit. But
less recklessness for sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit noticeable, and that's where I think he kind of turned and started relying on that mid-range jumper a little bit more, and that's not the modern day NBA. Like he was getting more to the rack, I think, a little bit more before.
For sure. All right, so what about let's before we go here, let's touch on the other game of the night, the Golden State Warriors hosting the Miami Heat. And what looked like, beginning of the year, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Miami. Like, there's been injuries. Jimmy Butler's been injured. It's been all over the place with them. But we know the Dart said the over on this game. Let's see what we got for it. Is currently -1. I think Al here said, if I can get this comment up, he's on Warriors -1 here. So what are we thinking here, Dunny? Do you think the Warriors got it at home tonight, or are the Heat gonna pull this one out?
I like Warriors at home, dude. I mean, Steph is legitimately playing at an MVP level. I mean, he's almost doing it as by himself, but Oubre's come on strong since starting the season as an absolute brick.
I had to drop him from my fantasy team, and now he's going off.
I held on to him. I also have him on my fantasy team.
I had to drop him because I had 5 guys with COVID, and it was just
that's tough.
But yeah, just the Miami Heat. I mean, like you said, no one expected the Heat to be playing this poorly, and I'm surprised because it's an Eric Spoelstra-led team. I'm surprised because Jimmy Butler's healthy. I mean, the only guy that really been missing is Goran Dragic, and if this is the type of lowly basketball they're going to play without Dragic, then you got to have some concerns for the Miami Heat. Golden State -1 at home with the way Steph's been playing. I feel like you got to roll dubs here, and of course the over.
No, absolutely. I think I'm riding with the Dubs as well. I think Degenerate Al commented in here in the very beginning, Warriors -1. I think that's the play. And yeah, Steph's carrying the scoring, but look at what Draymond's done over the past week or two. He's averaging only 6.5 points, but 12 rebounds, 6 assists, a bunch of steals, a couple blocks. He's doing a little bit of everything. Yes, he's not putting up the same amount of points as before, but when you're getting that type of play, it really helps make everything easier for the rest of the team. And you can't say enough about what having a player like that does. And you see how thankful guys like Steph and Clay are for having Draymond doing those things, because it gets them that extra space and frees them up and allows them to do the things that they're best at.
For sure. Draymond the other day bringing on some slander too about my boy Andre Drummond and the Cavs. Always taking shots at the Cavs and Draymond, but Draymond underappreciated with doing all the shit that like all the shit he does on a basketball court. Like a lot of it goes unnoticed. He gets a lot of shit, but like you said, like he kind of just fills in everything that they need.
Seriously, and shout out him
crazy.
like looking out for the players, like taking that shot at the association, because it really is a double standard. Like you're gonna tell the players they can't say one thing about wanting to get traded or wanting to play with different players or this or that. Like if me and my buddy who like we went to high school together made it to the NBA, I want to play with him at some point. Like you're stupid. Like you can't tell me I can't say that. That's just so stupid. You're gonna fine him for it when you have teams straight up saying we're not gonna play this guy because we're trading him or we're gonna cut him. Like you're literally just demeaning his value like as much as possible rather than like being like, hey, like let your agent go make some talks or whatever behind the scenes. Like, why do you got to go put that out there? Like it's a calculated move by these teams. And it just goes to show the association has continued to give them that leverage of power against the players, but they've done a good job of taking some of that back. And I hope, that continues.
Yeah, let's at least put it all out there. Like if we're gonna do this, let's just do it and
be transparent. Like it is what it is. It's a business. We all understand what it is.
Everyone wants to make moves for themselves. Everyone's got to do what they got to do.
And isn't it more fun when you see the guys tweeting back and forth like emojis and like this and that, like, oh, who's teaming up? And like you could really get it now. Like people are just completely joking. Like someone can go full heel and just completely lie about where they're going and just be like, gotcha. And like funny, like imagine the funny social media videos and things like that could come out of it. Like this league, baby.
Like the college football like recruiting videos the dudes put out like when they're like narrowing it down. We could get those from like fucking I don't even know. I'm trying. Marcus Smart. I feel like if Marcus Smart was a free agent, he would have like his.
We could have the decision on Happy Hour Hoops with like a basketball player one day.
Yeah,
exactly. With some with a G League decision for the G League Ignite.
Yeah, right.
I love it. Anything, bro. Let's give it to anybody in the world. All right, Meerkat, what do you got for this game?
I'm not placing a bet on this game because, everything you guys are saying about the Warriors is completely right tonight, but I want to bet the Heat. They've been a different team since Jimmy Butler's come back. I mean, they were like 2-8 in their last 10 before Butler came back. Since he's came back, they're 5-4. Not great, but, two really close losses there. There could be a swing. Tyler Herro's picking up his play, making it a little more consistent. I just love the Heat. They made me an absurd amount of money last year in the playoffs in that Bucks series, and I will forever be indebted to them, so I might be biased here. And I hate the Warriors, so I don't know. Until the Warriors free James Wiseman and let him shoot more than 1 3 a game, I'm not betting on them. I'm not betting on this game. It kind of scares me, although I'm going to lean Heat.
No, be bold. Just take the Heat. Fuck it. I let them go down.
I hate games like this. Like I just avoid betting games like this. But my gut's like screaming to me Heat. Yeah, I'm playing Tyler Herro in the back of my head right now. A little Jack Harlow. I'm like, oh shit. Like,
my theory. You go, Dunny. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if anything, take the Jimmy Butler player prop, dude. That dude has been really stuffing the stat sheet, dude.
Looking good for my fantasy team. I think I beat Meerkat last week.
Type we might have almost the exact same fantasy team.
Yeah, I think I had the last pick in the draft, so
I had the second. So this is
I had the third. Was waiting to get Jokic. He got taken second. Had to settle with Doncic.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Especially if you wanted Yeah. Oh man, I would have been hurt.
I think my brother took him. My brother is like the only other big Jokic fan I know besides Meerkat. Like he's always been a big Jokic guy, and like I was always like a big like European like big guy like Peja Stojakovic back in the day was like the epitome of like a player I wish I could take like and just put on the Clippers right now. Like the original just absolute wet 3 guy like.
When I first became a Nuggets fan, well, not when I started getting really entrenched in them, we drafted Nurkic and Jokic, and Jokic was the second round pick, was getting no time, but I was like, that was the first time I ever got like big mad on NBA Twitter, was just freaking out. I think it was still George Karl, and I'm just like, what the fuck, George Karl played Nikola Jokic, like this Nurkic dude is a bum, blah blah blah, and look what happened. Not that Nurkic isn't good, but
No, yeah, unreal that they're both on the same team at one point. That's
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
disturbing.
can you imagine them together right now?
they were like 20-year-olds
said that for
battling
so
for minutes
long.
with each other. Yeah.
Unreal. So we've got all of us. Are all of us on the Clippers then, or who's on the Jazz here? I'm on the
I'm on
Clippers.
Jazz.
You're on the Jazz.
Clippers.
I'm
Clippers.
going Jazz.
All right, so this side is
Yeah, we're
on
going split box.
split box, and then all of us are on the Warriors.
No,
Heat.
Meerkat's on the Heat.
You're gonna dig down with. All right, I
He's
love
gonna do it.
You got
Love
go heavy with the Heat there. All right, so we've got Jazz Clippers tonight on. I think you're gonna have to find. I think that's on League Pass and NBA streams wherever you can find that, and on ESPN. Golden State hosting Miami. Guys, anything before we go here?
Good.
No, I'm just
Please don't
hoping.
lose to the Wizards.
I'm
Nuggets.
gonna try to stay
Please
away.
don't.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we come out looking nice today. Let those bench guys get some minutes because you need that throughout the season anyways. As much as you'd love to see Kawhi and PG out there dominating every night, it's good to get those other guys minutes because you never know who could be out at some point with COVID or whatnot. We've seen it a little bit with the NHL, like infusing the COVID, your travel taxi squad, whatever, got the expanded roster. So you might as well use it a little extra here and let everyone play.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, that'll do it for late night happy hour here. Don't forget to tune in to Happy Hour Hoops tomorrow when we drop our episode from today. Don't forget to tune in and follow Trainwreck Sports and Happy Hour Hoops. And that'll do it for tonight. Enjoy the games tonight, people.
Later.